Snow falls without sound, not gently, not beautifully, just endlessly. It drifts down through the darkness like ash from a dying fire, collecting on shattered roofs, broken fences, abandoned helmets half buried in white. The land does not look defeated. It looks exhausted. Southern Germany, winter, 1945. The war is not over yet, but it is tired. And so are the people trapped inside its final breath. Inside a canvas tent stitched together too quickly and never meant to last, a young woman lies awake on a narrow wooden bunk. Her name is Liesel Hartmann, though no one has spoken it aloud in days. Names feel dangerous now. Names belong to the past. Her breath comes out in pale clouds. She presses her hands between her knees, fingers stiff, joints aching as if filled with broken glass. The blanket over her is thin, stiff with old sweat and disinfectant, barely heavier than a promise. Frost feathers the inside of the canvas walls. When the wind moves, the tent shudders like a frightened animal. Somewhere nearby, someone coughs. The sound is dry, hollow, too weak to be loud. Liesel closes her eyes and pretends she is somewhere else. She imagines her mother's kitchen, steam rising from a pot, the smell of potatoes, the familiar clatter of plates. But the image breaks apart almost immediately. The cold pulls her back, claws its way into her ribs. Her teeth begin to chatter. She presses her lips together, terrified of making noise. Across the tent, a woman whispers, barely audible, "Ich kann meine Füße nicht mehr fühlen." I can't feel my feet anymore. No one answers. No one knows what to say. Outside, an American guard shifts his weight, boots crunching softly in the snow. The sound feels unreal, like it belongs to another world. This is the end of something, though she does not yet know what. They had been moving for days before the cold truly caught them. Captured villages blur together in Liesel's memory. White flags hanging from windows, burnt vehicles frozen where they died. The silence that follows artillery. The women were gathered in ones and twos, then dozens, then more. Clerks, radio operators, nurses, factory girls, auxiliaries who never fired a weapon but wore the uniform anyway. Germany had run out of men, so it used women. They marched west under American custody, boots slipping on icy roads, bellies hollow, nerves stretched thin. Liesel remembers the sound of her own breathing, loud inside her ears. She remembers clutching a photograph folded. So many times it had become soft as cloth, a picture of her younger brother, taken before the war learned his name. Propaganda had prepared them for this moment. The Americans would be brutal. The Americans would humiliate them. The Americans would punish them for every bomb, every corpse, every lie. Liesel expected shouting, beatings, revenge. What she got instead was silence. The guards spoke little. Their faces were tired, not cruel. Their uniforms were bulky, layered, designed for winter. Liesel noticed that immediately. Not with envy, with confusion. At night, they slept in barns, in abandoned schools, once in a church that smelled of smoke and wax, each place colder than the last. The women huddled together, sharing what warmth they could, breath against breath. In her pocket, Liesel kept a scrap of paper, a page torn from a notebook. She wrote on it at night with a stub of pencil she had hidden since Leipzig. Diary, January 1945. The cold feels personal, as if it knows our names. We are not enemies to it. We are prey. By the time they reached the temporary camp near a small Bavarian town, the snow had become relentless. The camp rose out of the white like a mistake. Tents, rough barracks, wire that sagged under the weight of ice. American markings everywhere, numbers, signs. Rules written in a language that looked harsh and angular to Liesel's eyes. This was where they would stay. No one said how long. The first night breaks something inside them. The tents are never still. Wind slides under the canvas, lifting it just enough to steal heat. The bunks are hard. The ground beneath them feels alive with cold, as if the earth itself is breathing up through the planks. Liesel curls onto her side, knees to chest, arms wrapped tight. Her fingers burn, then go numb. She rubs them together desperately, afraid of losing sensation forever. A woman near the entrance begins to sob, quietly. The kind of crying meant not to be heard. Another whispers a prayer. By morning, frost coats the inside walls. When Liesel exhales, the vapor hangs in the air longer than it should. At roll call, several women sway. One collapses. The American guards notice. They notice blue lips, rigid postures, hands shoved under armpits even while standing at attention. One guard, a young corporal with a red face and eyes too old for his age, frowns. He says something to his officer. The officer nods, jaw tight. During inspection, a woman steps forward. Not Liesel, Another older, braver, or simply colder. She gestures helplessly to the ground, then to her arms. Her voice trembles as she speaks the only English word she knows. Freezing. Then in German. That afternoon, the impossible happens. A blanket appears. Not a German issue. American. Thick wool, smelling faintly of soap and metal. Then another. No announcement. No explanation. A guard slips it into Liesel's hands and looks away. Embarrassed, as if he's done something improper. Her fingers sink into the rough fabric. It is heavy, real. She stares at it, unsure whether she is allowed to keep it. Later coats appear, one by one. A sergeant removes his own overcoat and drapes it over a shivering woman's shoulders. He freezes, realizing what he's done. That night, the temperature drops again, but something has changed. Liesel layers the blanket over herself. Another woman presses close. Warmth does not come quickly, but it comes. For the first time in weeks, Liesel sleeps without dreaming of running. The monsters have brought soup, glimpses of another world. Over the next days, small details begin to accumulate. American cigarettes traded quietly between guards. Chocolate wrappers crumpled in pockets. Soap that smells like flowers instead of chemicals. One morning, Liesel notices something through the wire fence. A truck passes on the road beyond the camp. Its paint is chipped but intact. The driver hums as he drives. There are no bomb craters on the road, no shattered buildings. The town nearby is damaged but standing. It feels obscene. Germany back home is rubble. Smoke, hunger so sharp it feels moral. And here there are stoves scavenged from empty houses. Fires kept burning longer than regulations allow. One night, guards drag in wooden crates and break them apart with practiced efficiency. They shove planks into gaps in the barracks walls, sealing out the wind. Straw appears on the floor, crackling softly under boots. No one explains. Liesel watches from her bunk, heart pounding with a fear she doesn't have a name for. Because kindness is dangerous. Kindness asks questions. The letters arrive on a gray afternoon. Not for everyone. Not from everywhere. But enough. Liesel's hands tremble as she opens hers. Her mother's handwriting is smaller than she remembers. The city is gone. We moved again. Food is scarce. Don't worry about us. Just survive. Survive. Liesel folds the letter slowly, carefully. Around her, women are reading, crying, staring into nothing. The contrast is unbearable. Soup in her belly, a coat on her shoulders, and home, starving. That night, she cannot sleep. The stove hums softly. Warmth pulses through the room like a heartbeat. She feels like a thief wrapped in stolen mercy. Margaret whispers in the dark. What if everything we believed was wrong? No one answers, because once that question is spoken, it cannot be buried.